Hello, so ito yung solutions natin for machine design. So, ito yung pinakamahirap sa tatlong exam last February 2020, no, para sa akin yung machine design. Since halos pure solving, and syempre dahil last part na rin yung machine design dun sa exam namin, kaya syempre drained na yung utak mo dahil syempre pipe, tapos na yung pipe, tapos yung math, then last yung machine design, tapos puro solving pa lumabas. So, experience ko nung dati is parang nung nagsasagot na ako ng machine design, no, nag-start na, parang medyo nahihilo na ako nun sa sobrang puyat sa pagod. So, talagang pinilit ko na lang sagutan. So, luckily, pumasa naman. So, ito, sagutan natin yung machine design. So problem number 1, the train value of gear train is, so itong train value guys, tandaan nyo, ang train value, reciprocal yan ng speed ratio. So tandaan nyo, train value TV is equals to 1 over speed ratio. So reciprocal. The number 2, a hoist lifts 3,000 kilogram load at a height of 8 meters in a time of 20 seconds. Compute the efficiency of the hoist if the power is supplied to the engine is 18 HP. So efficiency is equals to output over input. So power output is equals over power input. So kunin natin yung power input dyan, meron siyang given, no? So power input, itong 18 HP. So ito 18 HP. Then yung power output natin is force times diameter divided by time. So substitute natin. So output, so force 3,000 kilogram times 9.81 para maging Newton, guys. So Newton times yung distance. So ilan yung distance niya? So distance is may 8 meters divided by time na 20 seconds. So Newton to meter per second. So times 1 kilowatt per 1,000 watts. So ang watts is Newton to meter per second din. No? So Newton to meter per second din yan. So maka-cancel yan. So kilowatts ang lalabas dyan divided by, so yung power input na 18 HP. So itong 18 HP, convert lang natin. So times 1 kilowatt or 0.746. So 0.746 kilowatt per HP. So makancel, ang magiging sagot dito is 88%. So the answer is letter B. So next, problem number 3. So problem number 3, neglecting spoke effect. So calculate the energy stored in the rim of a flywheel made of cast iron, 24 inches in diameter, having a rim 5 inches wide by 4 inches deep when running at 1,000 RPM. The internal radius of the rim is 8 inches. So note, the density of material is 450 pounds per cubic feet. So dito sa number 3, may correction tayo dito, no? Hindi siya 1,000 RPM. So correction natin, 1,200 RPM. So, sagutan natin. So, hinahanap yung ating energy or kinetic energy. So, kinetic energy, pwede rin natin makuha using 1/2 IW squared. So, ito is mass moment of inertia. So, yung I pwede natin makuha using 1/2 mr squared. So, tandaan nyo kapag radius, may 1/2 dyan. Pero kapag radius of gyration na k, so kahit wala ng 1/2 dyan. So, ang mass naman, makukuha natin using pi times mean diameter times width times thickness times specific weight. So, yan yung formula ng mass. So, pi times ang mean diameter natin. So, may 24 na inside diameter plus meron tayong outside diameter na 24 inches. So, sulat natin dito. So, ang DM natin is outside diameter plus inside diameter over 2 times width times thickness times specific weight. So, ang DO natin dito guys is yung 24 inches. Ang DI natin dito is equals to 2 times yung radius na 8 is equals to 16 inches. So, ilan? Pi times 24 plus 16 divided by 2 times width. So, ano yung width natin dito guys? 5 inches. Times thickness na 4 inches. Times 450 pounds per cubic foot. So, ito is inches cube to. No? Inches cube. Itong buong to. Then, times, so convert natin 1 foot per 12 inches. So, raised to 3. So, para makancel si cubic foot dito, makancel si cubic inches dito. So, matitira dito is in pounds. So, maging sagot natin dito is 327.25 pounds. Yan yung mass pa lang natin. Then, syempre, kukunin natin si I. So, I is equals to 1/2 times mass, 327.25, times ang radius na gagamitin natin dito, guys, is yung outside. So, 24 inches. So, 24 inches, since diameter yan, i-divide natin ng 2 para maging radius squared. So, magiging pounds to inches squared. So, pounds to inches squared. Then, i-convert pa natin into foot squared. So, 1 foot per 12 inches. Then, squared. So, para makancel si inches squared dito, lalabas dito is so 327.25 times 24 over 2 squared. So, times 1/2 pa pala. 1/2. Mali. Dapat pa rin tayo. Times 1/2. Then, times 1 over 12. Then, naka-square yan. Buong yan. So, ito na yung ating I. So, 163.625. 163.625 pounds to foot squared. And then, since nakuha natin si I, makukuha natin yung kinetic energy. So, kunin muna pala natin si W. So, si W is equal to 1,200 RPM. So, times 2 pi over 60 para maging radians per second. So, ilan yan? So, revolutions per minute, convert natin sa radians per second. Kaya tinimes ng 2 pi over 60. So, 40 pi or 125.66. So, 125.66 radians per second. So, substitute natin sa I. So, I is equals to 1/2 times I, 163.625 pounds to foot squared times W natin, 125.66 squared. So, magiging radians per second squared. So, pounds to foot squared per second squared, i-divide pa natin yan ng G na 32.2 para ma-convert yung pounds of mass to foot per second squared per pounds of force. So, ito kasi pounds of mass to, no? Pounds of mass. So, makancel si pounds of mass, si foot per second squared. So, si foot per second squared dito. Si foot dito makancel. So, foot na lang to. Pounds of force to foot na lang ilalabas dito. So, I is equal to, ilan ilalabas? So times squared times 163.625 times 1 half divided by 32.2. So 4122.08. So 4122.08 foot to pounds of force. Yun na kagad yung sagot. So A. So next, problem number 4. A wet steel back asbestos clutch with hardened steel plates is being designed to transmit 33 Newton to meter. The coefficient of friction is 0.12. Slip will occur at 300% of the rated torque. So the maximum minimum friction surface diameters are 115 and 65 respectively. So the contact pressure is also 700 kilopascal. So how many plates are needed? So hinahanap dito yung number of plates. So alam natin yung torque is equals to, so torque ng clutch is equals to nagpa-farm. So NF, so FA, so axial force times mean radius. So yan yung formula ng clutch torque natin. No? So since ano bang type to? So assume natin, so assume uniform pressure. Uniform pressure. So assume uniform pressure. So para makuha natin si FA is equals to pressure times area. So ang area na gagamitin natin dito is, so area is equals to pi over 4 dO squared minus DI squared. Then ang gagamitin nating mean radius mamaya is, so 2/3 dO cube minus DI cube over dO squared minus DI squared. Or 1/3 pala, no? 2/3 to rin na ilagay ko. So 1/3. 1/3 yan. So, ganyan yung ginagamit na mean radius at saka area kapag uniform pressure. So, ito siya. Uniform pressure. So, pressure natin, 700 kilopascal. So, 700. So, 700 kilopascal or 700,000 pascal or newton per, or gawin na natin ano, no? Gawin na nating megapascal. Or gawin na lang pala natin pascal. So, newton per meter squared. So, pascal yan. Times pi over 4 times outside diameter. So, ilan yung outside diameter natin? 115. So, 0.115 squared minus 65. So, 0.065 squared. So, meter squared. So, ilan yung lalabas dito na axial force? 700,000 times pi over 4 times 0.115 squared minus 0.065 squared. So 15755 or 4948. So 4948 Newton. Then so mean radius niya. So substitute na natin dito, no. So torque natin is equals to, so 33 Newton to meter. So wag niyo kakalimutan, i-multiply natin ng 300%. So 300%, i-multiply natin yan sa torque is equals to N times friction na 0.12 times axial force. So ilan yung axial force natin? 4948 Newton. Then mean radius. So 1/3. So outside diameter natin is 0.115 raised to 3. 65 raised to 3 divided by 0.115 squared minus 0.065 squared. So makukuha natin yung n dito. So 33 times 300% alpha x times 0.12 times alpha x times 0.12 that's 4948 times 1/3 0.115 raised to 3 0.065 raised to 3 over 0.115 squared minus 0.065 squared. Shift solve. So 3.62. So 3. Para makuha natin yung n is equals to 3.61. No? So approximately equal to 4. So the number of plates is letter A, 4. So next, problem number 5, calculate the cutting speed in feet per minute if the spindle speed of a 3/4 inches drill is 400 RPM. So cutting speed is equal to pi dn. So ganyan lang siya guys. So pi times ilan yung diameter natin? 3/4 inches. So times 1 feet per 12 inches. Then times n, 400 revolution per minute. So equal yan sa 78.5 feet per minute. So letter D. So next, a 60-inch diameter steel pipe 3/8 thick carries water under a pressure head of 550. Determine the hoop stress in the steel. So syempre stress is equals to PD over 2T. So ganyan lang siya guys. So PD over 2T lang. So since nga pala, i-check muna nga pala natin kung thick wall or thin wall to. So thickness over diameter dapat equal yan sa, so 3/8 divided by 60. Ilan ba yan? 3/8 over 60. 3/8 over 60. So kung mapapansin natin, 6.25 times 10 raised to negative 3. So mapapansin natin, T over D is less than 0.10. Ibig sabihin, thin wall. So thin wall formula. So ito yung gagamitin natin. So stress equals PD over 2T. So ilan ba yung stress natin? Or ilan yung pressure? So pressure is 550 feet. So pressure is equals to specific weight times height. So ilan yung specific weight natin? So specific weight 62.4 pounds per cubic foot times height natin na 550 feet. So maka-cancel dito. So syempre convert rin natin yan. So 1. So ito is maging cancel to, maging feet squared na lang to. So convert natin 1 feet per 12 inches squared. So para ma-cancel tong feet squared dito. So magiging pounds per inches squared na yan. Times diameter na 60 inch divided by 2 times thickness na So, thickness na 3/8 inch. Ma-cancel. Magiging sagot natin dito is 19,066.67 PSI. So, letter A. So, next, 7. So, a spring has a natural length of 10 inches when at rest. If force 10 pounds is required to stretch it at 1 inch, find the work required to stretch the spring from a total length of 13 inches to 15 inches. So, hinanap natin yung work. So, work ng spring is equals to, so, di ba may formula tayong ganyan? L1 minus natural length then L2 minus natural length is equals to force over stretch length. So, x dx. So, substitute lang to. So, L1 natin, so 13 minus natural length na 10. Then, L2 is 15 minus natural length na 10. Then, force is 10 pounds divided by stretch length. So, required to stretch it for 1 inch, no? Then, x dx. So, magiging unit ito. So, pounds. So, ito kasi 10 pounds per inches. So, magiging, ang unit kasi na lalabas dito is pounds to inch. Pounds to inch yung lalabas dyan, no? So, pounds to inch. So, equals, so ilan yung lalabas? So, lalabas dito is, type na sa calcu. So, 3, then 5, then 10x. So, 80 pounds to inch. Then, i-convert natin into foot to pounds. So, times 1 foot per 12 inches. So, ilan to? 80 divided by 12 is 6.667 foot to pounds. So, the answer is letter A. So, next, 8. So, it is an age-hardenable wrought alloy which has mechanical properties comparable to those of heat-treated alloy steel of the same order of hardness and resistance to corrosion similar to that of Monel. What is this alloy of nickel? So, ang sagot dito sa 8. So, sagot dito is K Monel. Letter D. So, the next, number 9. A flat belt 4 inches and 3 inches thick or 3/16 inches thick operates on pulleys of diameter 5 and 15 inches transmits 10 HP. So the friction coefficient between the belt and pulleys is 0.30. So the belt specific weight is 0.04 pounds per cubic inches. The pulleys are rotating at 1,500 RPM and they are 5 feet apart. So calculate effective belt pull. So, ang effective belt pull kasi, F1 minus F2 yan. Or yung net force yan. So, para makuha effective net pull, so power is equals to F1 minus F2 times velocity. So, ito yung tinatawag nating effective belt pull. So, substitute na natin. So, 10 HP times 550, convert natin foot to pounds per second per HP is equal to F1 minus F2 times velocity. So, ang velocity natin, itong velocity is pi dn. So, times pi. Diameter natin is 5 inches. So, 5 inches yung diameter, no? Divided by, so gagamitin mong diameter dito, use diameter yung mas maliit. So itong gagamitin natin 5. So gagamitin mo yung diameter ng driver, which is yung mas maliit na diameter. So 5/12 para maging feet. Then N natin is, so ilan yung N? 1,500 RPM. So 1,500 divide mo ng 60 para maging radians or para maging feet per second. So radians per second. So makancel si feet, then seconds. Matitira dito is pounds. So F1 minus F2 is, so makuha natin F1 minus F2 dito is 168 pounds. Letter D. So next, number 10. So solid steel machine shop with a safe shearing stress of 7,000 psi transmits a torque of 15,500. What is the length of the square key if it is 1.5 times the diameter of the shaft? So hinanap natin dito yung length of square key. So syempre, kunin muna natin yung diameter ng shaft. So stress is equals to 16 T over pi d cube. So ang stress natin dito is 7,000 psi, pounds per inches squared. So is equals to 16 times torque na 15,500 inches to pound per pi d cube. So makukuha natin diameter dito guys is, ilan tong diameter na makukuha natin? 2.24 inches. So syempre para makuha natin length, so sabi niya length ng square key is equals to 1.5 times diameter ng shaft. So 1.5 times 2.24 is equals to 3.36 inches. So the answer is closest to letter D. So next, 11. A helical extension spring is wound from 0.07 inches to diameter wire with a mean diameter of helix of 0.75 inch. So find the approximate value of the load that the spring can sustain before noticeable deflection occur. So note shearing stress is equal to 21,000 psi. So paano to guys? So syempre para makuha natin yung ano bang hinahanap dito? Yung load F. So para makuha natin, so stress ng spring is equals to it sa KFC may pi d2. So yung diameter dito, diameter ng wire. So syempre, ang K natin is equals to 4C minus 1 over 4C minus 4 plus 0.615 over C. So substitute natin, ang C natin dito is mean diameter over wire diameter. So ilan yung mean diameter natin dito? 0.75 divided by wire diameter na 0.07 equals, so ilan yan? So C natin dyan is 10.7. So pag sinubstitute natin dito sa K, so 4 times 10.7 minus 1 over 4 times 10.7 minus 4 plus 0.615 over 10.7. So ilan to? Lalabas dito is 1.135. So makuha natin, so formula tayo dito stress. So 21,000, stress is 21,000 psi. So pounds per inches squared is equals to 8 times K, 1.135. Then force times C, 10.7 divided by, so pi times wire diameter, so 0.07 squared inches squared. So makacancel dito si inches squared. Then force, so magiging force natin dito is, so 3 point, ilan? So calculate natin. 21,000 is equal to 8 times 1.135 times alpha x times 10.7 divided by pi times 0.07 squared. Shift solve. So 3.327. So, ito na yung sagot. So, the answer is, ito, letter C, pounds. So, next, 12. So, a flange coupling is designed to use 6 bolts on a 4 inches diameter bolt circle. The allowable stress is in shear is 12,000 psi. The maximum torque is 50 foot-to-pounds of force. So, find the diameter of the bolt required. So, dito, shear stress natin is equals to, so shear stress ng flange coupling, so flange coupling siya, no? So check nyo ulit yung lecture na sa keys and coupling. So ito yung formula na gagamitin natin. So 2T times number of bolts times area ng bolts times diameter ng bolt circle. So ang area ng bolts natin is pi over 4 times diameter ng bolt squared. So substitute natin, shear stress is 12,000 pounds per inches squared is equals to 2 times torque. So 2 times torque natin is 50 foot-to-pounds of force. So convert natin times 1 foot per 12 inches. Or 12 inches pala. Balik ko. Convert natin into inches. So 12 inches per 1 foot. So makacancel sa foot. Then divided by number of bolts, 6 times area. So times pi over 4. Then diameter ng bolt. Ilan yung diameter ng bolt natin? So 4 inches. Ay, hindi. So diameter ng bolt, no? dB squared. Then diameter ng bolt circle, ito 4 inches. So 4 inches. So syempre maka-cancel dito yung inches. So pounds maka-cancel dito, pounds of force. Matitira dito is inches na lang. So diameter ng bolt circle is equal to, so ilan itong diameter ng bolt circle dito? So kung pinalcue nyo, makukuha is 0.073 inches. So the answer is letter C. So next, tuloy-tuloy lang, number 13. So ang sagot dito, so projection welding is a letter C, resistance welding. Then next, 14, a large hangar door is required to be stopped at the end of its travel by a constant force snubber. The door weighs 10,000 pounds and its speed is 1 foot per second when it strikes the snubber. What constant force is required by the snubber to stop the door within the distance of 1 foot? So, paano to? So, force is equals to mass times acceleration. So, pwede natin makuha yung acceleration using, so Vf squared is equals to Vo squared minus 2 times acceleration times distance. So, Vf natin, so since nag-stop siya, so ibig sabihin yung final velocity natin 0. So, 0 is equal to, yung Vo natin is 1 foot per second. So, 1 squared minus 2 times acceleration times distance na 1 foot. So, makuha natin dito, A is equals to 0.5 foot per second squared. So, makuha natin, force is equals to mass. So, 10,000 pounds times acceleration na 0.5 foot per second squared. So, syempre, pounds of mass to. So, i-divide pa natin yan ng 32.2. So, pounds of mass to foot per second squared sa isang pounds of force per 1 pounds of force. So, maka-cancel na to. So, maka-cancel. So, equal yan sa, so magiging sagot dito guys is 155.28 pounds. Letter C. So next, problem number 15. So a heavy-duty sleeve bearing is used with good ventilation. The bearing has a diameter of 2 inches and a length of 4 inches. The load on the bearing is 2,200 pounds. A shaft rotates 200 RPM in the bearing. So find the heat radiating capacity. The coefficient of friction is 0.02. So para makuha natin yung heat radiating capacity, So, in BTU per minute per square inch. So, syempre, para makuha natin yan, so, paano ba natin siya makuha, guys? So, syempre, power is equals to Tn. So, power, para makuha natin yung sagot, heat radiating capacity. So, by unit analysis, makikita, pag titingnan mo kasi yung unit ng choices, so, BTU per minute is power. Divided by ng square inch is area. So, power over area yan. So, heat capacity is equals to power over area. So, si power, pwede natin makuha using Tn over factor. Di ba? So, pwede natin makuha using Tn over factor na. So, BTU per minute siya. So, ano ba yung unit niya? So, 63025. Kunin natin in HP. So, 63025. Then, si area, pwede natin makuha using, so, saan ba natin makuha si area? So, area is equals to length times diameter. So, pwede natin gamitin yan, no? So, kunin mo na si power. So, power is equals to torque. So, ano yung torque natin? So, si torque pwede natin makuha using force or friction times force times radius. So, friction, ilan yung friction natin? 0.02 times force na, ilan yung force natin dito? 2,200 pounds. So, times radius na 2, divide mo ng 2 para maging feet, no? Or 2 divided by 2 para maging radius. So, inches. So, times 1 foot per 12 inches. So, yan yung torque pa lang yan. Then, RPM natin is 200. So, 200 revolution per minute. So, hindi, tama lang pala yung force natin, no? Ayun, ano natin, torque. Pounds to inch dapat yan. So, wag na pala natin i-convert. Okay lang pala yung pounds to inch. So, inches. So, para maging pounds to inch siya, then times yung 200 RPM. Divided by 63,025. So, ano yung power natin? Yung power natin na makuha dito is in HP. So, 0.02 times 2,200 times 1 times 200 divided by 63,025. So, 0.1396. So, 0.1396 HP. So, i-convert natin into BTU per minute. So, times 42.4 BTU per minute sa isang per 1 HP. So, ma-cancel. So, ilan to? So, times 42.4, 5.92. So, 5.92 BTU per minute. Then, makuha natin. So, then, area naman is equals to length times diameter. So, ilan yung length natin? 4 inches times diameter na 2 inches. So, 8 inches squared. Substitute natin dito. So, 5.92 BTU per minute per 8 inches squared. So, ilan? So, 5.92 divided by 8 is 0.7400. 0.7400 BTU per minute 2 inches squared. So, very easy, no? Letter A. So, next, 16. So 16, if the machining time to drill a hole 20 mm diameter is 19.5 seconds in a workpiece 3 mm thick with a feed of 0.2 mm revolution, what is the cutting speed? So, cutting speed natin. So, V is equals to pi Tn lang. So, kaso wala tayong N in RPM. So, si N pwede nating makuha since... So, paano natin makuha si N? So, paano ba natin makuha si N dito? So, para makuha natin si N, so N is equals to, so diameter divided by feed times time. So, pwede natin makuha yan. So, diameter 20 mm, unit analysis lang yung gagamitin natin dito sa pagkuha ng RPM. So, feed natin is 0.2 mm per revolution times time natin na, so rin yung time, 19.5 seconds. So, 19.5 seconds times 1 or 1 minute per 60 seconds. So, maka-cancel si mm. So, magiging, so, lalabas dito is 307.7 revolutions per minute. Then, gamitin natin siya. So, V is equals pi, diameter na 0.02 meters times N na 307.7 revolutions per minute. So, ilan lalabas dito? So, ang sagot is 19.33 meters per minute. So, approximately equal to 20 meters per minute. The answer is letter C. The next 17, Kevlar epoxy composite is widely used in aerospace. So, next 18. So, 18, find the root area of a 1-inch bolt which has 8 V threads per inch. So, medyo madali lang to, no? So, root area is equals to pi over 4 d squared lang. So, pi over 4 times 1 inch squared is equals to, so 0.785 inches squared. So, the answer is letter B. So, next, 19. So, an interrupted quenching process resulting in an austenite to martensite transition. So, austenite to martensite, guys. So, pag austenite to martensite is aus tempering. Tatandaan nyo, no? Pag austenite to martensite, aus tempering. So, guys, may correction tayo dito sa number 19. So, sa number 19, so, wait. So, number 19, ang sagot dito, hindi to aus tempering. So, ang sagot dito is smart tempering. So, tandaan nyo, kapag austenite to martensite, sagot dito is smart tempering. Pero kapag austenite to bainite, so bainite, sagot dito is aus tempering. So, ang sagot dito is smart tempering. Letter B. So, next, 20. A pair of mating spar gears have 14.5 degree full depth involute teeth of 2 1/2 diametral pitch. The pitch diameter of the small gear is 6.4. The transmission ratio is 3:2. Calculate the addendum. So, medyo madali lang itong 20 na, guys. So, 20. So, since ano yung pressure angle? 14.5 degree pressure angle. So, kapag 14.5, Ang formula ng dedendum is 1.157 over diametral pitch. So 1.157 divided by 2 and 1 half or 2.5. So 2.5. So ang sagot dito is 1.157 over 2.5 is 0.4628 inch. So 0.4628 inch. So anong sagot dito, guys? So pinakamalapit na sagot dito is letter C, 0.426. So next, number 21. A mass of 0.020 kg is hanging from a spring whose spring constant is 0.44. If the mass is pulled down and released, what is the period of oscillation? So sa 21, para makuha natin period, so 2 pi square root ng m over k. So yan yung formula na gagamitin natin for period of oscillation. So is equals to 2 pi square root. Ang mass natin is 0.020 kg. Then divided by k natin na 0.44. So sagot dito is 1.34 seconds. Then next, 22. A helical coil spring has a mean diameter of 1 inch and a wire diameter of 1/8 inch. If the shearing stress is 60,000 psi, how much load can it support? So hinahanap natin dito yung force. So formula ng stress ng spring, so it sa KFC may pi d2. So yung diameter dito is diameter ng wire. So substitute lang para makuha natin yung load. So S is equals to 60,000 psi. So equals, so 8. So ang K natin dito, so kunin muna natin si C. So C is equals to, so C is equals to mean diameter over diameter ng wire. So 1 inch divided by 1/8 is equals to 8. Then ang K natin, so 4 times 8 minus 1 over 4 times 8 minus 4 plus 0.615 over 8. So yung K natin is equal to 1.184. Substitute 1.184 times force times C na 8 divided by pi times diameter ng wire 1/8 squared. So makuha natin force dito is 38.7 pounds. The answer is letter D. So next, 23. So a punch press is to have a capacity of 8,000 pounds through a blank inch stroke. So for the efficiency and cost, a small motor flywheel was used. What flywheel effect is required to maintain the flywheel within 20% of its no load speed of 600 RPM? So anong sagot dito, guys? So dito, walang sinabing, so sa test question sa board exam, wala siyang nailagay na inch stroke, no? So ang gagawin natin dito, manghuhula tayo ng, mag-a-assume tayo ng value nito. So assume 7-inch stroke. So para makuha natin yung sagot, so ito ang gagawin natin is unit analysis lang gagamitin natin dito, guys. So unit analysis lang to. So since yung sa ano, yung unit is inches to pounds to seconds squared. So pag multiply lang natin dito yung pounds tapos yung stroke. So is equals to 8,000 pounds. Wala tayong formula talaga dito, no? So magbabasehan lang natin yung unit ng sagot. So times 7-inch stroke times, so 1 over n. So 1 over n natin is 600 RPM. So itong 600 RPM, so revolutions per minute times 2 pi over 60. So 2 pi rad per revolution times, so revolution times is 1 minute. So 1 minute per 60 seconds. So makancel sa minute. Then, squared natin to guys. Squared. So, magiging unit ito is, so, second squared per rad per radian. So, yung radian kahit hindi mo nalagyan ng squared yan, no? Then, times 20%. So, wag nyo kakalimutan yung times 20% yan. So, yan na yung sagot. Makukuha natin. So, 2.8. So, inches to pounds to seconds squared. So, yung rad, hindi na nilalagay, no? So, yan yung sagot. So, letter C. So, unit analysis lang yung pag-analyze ng mga ganyang klaseng problem. So, next, 25. When crank rotates with uniform speed, it has blank acceleration only. So, sa 24, syempre, radial acceleration only. So, next, 25, two extension springs are hooked in parallel and support a load of 100 pounds. One spring has a constant of 50 pounds per inch and the other a constant of 100 pounds per inch. What is the deflection of the load? So 25, deflection is equals to force total over K total. So ang K total natin dito guys, since parallel, K1 plus K2. So pag-add lang natin, 50 plus 100 is equals to 150 pounds per inch. So substitute natin dito. So force total natin is 100 pounds per 150 pounds per inch. So itong inch natin, so mm kasi yung sagot dito. So times 25.4 mm per inch. Para ma-convert natin. Or baliktad pala. Baliktad. So times 1 inch per 25.4 mm. So maka-cancel inch. So ilan to? So sagot dito is 16.94 mm. The answer is letter A. So next, 26. An inclined plane 5 meter long has its upper end 1 meter above the ground. A load of 100 Newton is pushed up the plane against a force of friction of 5 Newton. What is the actual mechanical advantage? So, ang actual mechanical advantage, guys, is simple lang siya, no? So, kapag ang formula natin dyan, so, paano natin makuha? So, itong actual mechanical advantage, pwede to in terms of distance. So, length. So, 5 meter na length divided by yung effect na 1 meter. So, 5 meter length divided by 1 meter is equals to 5. So, letter C. So, ganyan lang yung pagsagot dyan sa AMA. Pwedeng in terms of distance. So, next, 27. So 27, springs A and B have spring constants of 2 kN and 1 kN meter respectively. Spring A is hung from a rigid horizontal beam and its other end is attached to an end of spring B. The pair of spring is then used to suspend a body mass of 50 kilograms from the lower end of spring B. What is the period of harmonic oscillation of the system? So period na naman. So 27, so period is equals to 2 pi square root ng square root ng anong gamitin natin dito? So, M over K. So, yung K na gagamitin natin dito, para makuha natin yung K, so, K total yan. So, since, yung spring kasi natin, spring A is hung from its other end is attached to an end. So, ang spring natin is series. So, spring in series. So, ang gagamitin natin K dito is K total. So, kung natin si K total, so 1 over K total is equals to 1 over K1 plus 1 over K2. So, 1 over K total is equals to 1 over, ano yung K1 natin? 2. Then, 1 over K2 natin is 1. So, K total is equals to 2/3 kilonewton per meter. So, yun yung substitute natin dito. So, times natin ng, so, convert natin to into Newton to meter, Newton per meter. So, 1,000 Newton per meter. Or per kilonewton pala. Per 1 kilonewton. So, cancel. Magiging 2/3 times 1,000. So, ilan yan? 2/3 times 1,000 is 666.667 Newton per meter. So, yun yung substitute natin dito. So, magiging 2 pi square root ng mass. So, ilan yung mass natin dito? 50 kilograms. Divided by 666.667 Newton per meter. So, lalabas dito is in seconds. So, time natin dito is 1.72 seconds. So, the answer is letter B. So, letter B. So, next, 28. So, elements. Hand shears can be used for cutting sheets up to, so, ang sagot dito sa 28. So, sagot dito up to 0.2 mm. So, next, 29. A disc brake has two pads of included angle of 45 degrees each. Outside radius is 6, inside radius is 4, coefficient of friction 0.4, and maximum lining pressure is 100. Find the torque capacity for both shoes. So, para makuha natin torque, torque is equals to friction. So, disc brake, no? So, nagpa-farm. So, N, F, FA times mean radius. So, dito, assume natin na, para makuha natin yung sagot, assume uniform wear. So, ang gagamitin natin ditong mean radius is equals to outside plus inside over. So, para makuha natin mean radius, outside plus inside over 4. Then, para makuha naman natin yung area is equals to pi times inside diameter times time. So, substitute natin dito. So, or time to rate thickness to. So, kunin muna natin si mean radius. So, si mean radius, so ano pala to? Yung given, no? So, ang given dito is outside at saka inside radius. So, gawin natin RO plus RI over 2 na lang. So, RO plus RI divided by 2. So, equals, so 6 plus 4 divided by 2. So, 10 divided by 2 is 5 inches. So, ito naman, so si area, so pi times inside diameter, so 4 times 2 times thickness. So, ang thickness natin, so, thickness kasi, para mawala si thickness, so, RO is equals to RI plus thickness kasi. So, para mawala si thickness, RO minus RI. So, 6 minus 4 is equals to 2. So, 2. So, 2 ito, no? So, 2 para maging inches squared. So, magiging area natin dito, 8 times 2 is 16. So, 16 pi inches squared. So, 16 pi inches squared. So, makuha na sagot. So, torque is equal to, so, ilan yung ano natin? So, guys, dito may correction tayo. So, itong coefficient of friction, dapat ito is 0.2. So, 0.2 dapat yan. So, kunin mo na si force. So, force FA is equal to pressure times area. So, pressure natin is 100 PSI. So, pounds per inches squared times area na 16 pi inches squared. So, makakansin sa inches squared. Makuha natin dito is, so 100 times 16 pi is 5,026.548 pounds. So, substitute natin siya sa main formula natin. So, wala naman tayong N dito. So, N. So, friction natin is 0.2 times ang FA natin, 5,026.548 pounds times ang FA natin. So, yan nga yung FA natin. Yung friction natin is 0.2. Tama. Then, yung mean radius, 5 inches. So, makuha natin yung ating torque is equals to, so 5,026 times 5 times 0.2. So, ilan? So, 5,026 pa rin. 0.548. So, i-divide natin yan ng 2 for both shoes. So, both shoes. So, torque is equals to 5,026.548 divided by 2 is, so, ang sagot dito is 2,513. 2,513.2 inches to pounds. So, yun yung yung sagot. Letter B. So, next, 30. So, 2 sheets of aluminum on an aircraft wing are to be held together by aluminum rivets of a cross-sectional area of 0.25 square inches. So, the shearing stress on each rivet must not exceed one-tenth of the elastic limit for aluminum. How many rivets are needed if each rivet supports the same fraction of a total shearing force of 25,000 kilonewton? Assume that the elastic limit stress is 131 megapascal. So dito may correction rin dito. Itong 0.25 square inches, hindi yan dapat 0.25. So dapat yan is 55 square inches. So, 55 square inches dapat yan. So, square inches. So, na-type sila. Yung 0.25 lang nalagay niya, dapat 55 yan para makuha yung sagot. So, para makuha natin number of rivets is equals to total force divided by force ng rivet. Is equals to total force natin na 25,000. So, 25 million Newton. Gawin natin Newton divided by force ng rivet is, so ilan ba yung ano natin dyan? So, 131 megapascal. So, ito rin pala. So, dapat ito is 13.1. 13.1 megapascal. So, 13.1. So, ang force ng rivet kasi is equals to stress times area. So, 13.1 Newton per mm squared times area na. So, ilan yung area natin? So, ang area is, so ilan yung area natin dito? So, ito, 55 square inch. 55 inches squared times 25.4 mm per 1 inch. So, squared. So, para makancel si inches squared, makancel si Newton, makancel si mm squared, so matitira is number of rivets. So, ilan to guys? So, i-calculate natin. So, 25 to 3, 1 to 3, divided by 13.1 times 55 times 25.4 squared. So 53.78. 0.78. So 53 rivets. So wala namang 54 dyan. So kung may 54 sana, pwede. Pero 53 rivets. Letter D. So next, 31. A copper column of annular cross-section has an outer diameter and subjected to an axial loading of 200. The allowable compressive stress is 14.4. Nahanap dito yun, wall thickness. So paano 31? So 31 is equals to stress is equals to force over area. So simple formula lang gagamitin dyan. Then yung area, pi over 4 dO squared minus di squared. So ilan yung stress? 14.4 kilopascal. So Newton, so 14.4 kilonewton per meter squared. Then yung force natin is 200 kilonewton divided by pi over 4. Then, so outer diameter pala natin, so DO is equals to 5 meters. So para makuha natin thickness, so DO is equals to DI plus 2T. So DI natin dito is equals to DO minus 2T. So substitute natin dito. So DO squared minus DO minus 2 times thickness squared. So yan yung maging formula natin. So palitan natin si DO. So si DO, palitan natin. So si DO is 5 minus 2T squared. So makuha natin dito yung thickness. So 1.15 meters. The answer is letter A. So 5 squared to, no? Ano naman sa squared. So next. Number 32, the moment diagram for a cantilever beam subjected to bending moment at the end of beam will be. So sa 32, ang sagot dito is letter A. So rectangle dapat ang, sa cantilever beam, rectangular. Yan. So rectangular yung moment diagram. So next, 33, a bridge steel midspan is to be installed at 35°F during winter. The rivet holes at each end of the midspan must measure 54.7 feet from the center. So the I-beams for the midspan are prepared in a fabrication shop with a controlled temperature of 72. So dito hinahanap natin yung change to the center distance that should be made when the rivet holes are drilled in the shop. So yung change na yan, pwede natin makuha using thermal deformation. So thermal deformation formula is thermal coefficient times length times change in temperature. So yung coefficient of thermal expansion natin is 6.5 times 10 raised to negative 6 per degree Fahrenheit times length. So ilan yung length natin dito guys? 54.7 feet. So i-convert natin times, so i-convert natin to into mm. So times 12 inches per foot times 3.281 or 25.4 mm per inches per 1 inches. Then times change in temperature is 72 minus 35 degree Fahrenheit. So makakansil sa degree Fahrenheit. So makakuha natin dito is in mm. So sagot is 4 mm. Very easy. Letter A. So next, 34. How many revolutions are needed to lift table of height 300 mm if a machine is if a machine table is lifted by means of a 2-start screw thread which has pitch of 6 mm. So, ang gagamitin natin dito para makuha yung sagot guys, may tinatawag tayong ideal mechanical advantage. So So itong ideal mechanical advantage when in sa, sa screw thread, ganito yung formula niya. So 2 pi lead over pitch. Or 2 pi times, so itong L natin, yan yung height. 2 pi L. So ito is yung height or length. So 2 pi times 300 mm per pitch na 6 mm. So ma-cancel. So magiging sagot natin dito guys is 100 pi rad. So 100 pi radians yung sagot pa dito. So i-convert natin ito into revolution. So times 1 revolution per 2 pi radians. So magiging sagot natin dito is 50 revolutions. So letter B. So next, 35. A 2,000 kilogram elevator rises from rest in the basement to the fourth floor. A distance of 25 meter. So at a distance of 25 meter. As it passes the fourth floor, its speed is 3 meter per second. So there's a constant frictional force of 500 Newton. So calculate daw the work exerted against friction. So syempre, para makuha natin yung work ng friction or frictional work is equals to friction force times diameter. So ilan ba yung friction force natin dito? So 500 Newton. So times diameter na. So ilan yung diameter natin dito? Or distance? Distance pala yan, 25 meters. So times, so Newton to meter. So Newton to meter is joules. Joules na yan. So joules. So times 1 foot to pounds per 1.356 joules. So makakancel na yung joules dyan, Newton to meter. So lalabas dito is, so sagot dito is 9218.29 foot to pounds. So letter C. So next, 36. So find the diametral pitch of a gear whose circular pitch is 1.5 inch. Para makuha natin yung diametral pitch, PD is equals to pi over circular pitch. So tandaan natin ang product ng PC at saka PD is pi. So pi over, ang PC natin 1.5. So easy lang. 2.094 inches. So letter C. The next 37, a pair of mating spar gears have 14.5 degree pressure angle. So full depth involute teeth of 2.5 diametral pitch. So the pitch diameter of the smaller gear is 6.4 inches. The transmission ratio is 3 to 2. Calculate the outside diameter of the pinion. So outside diameter is equals to outside diameter is equals to, so anong formula natin dito? So diameter ng smaller gear plus 2 times addendum. So addendum natin dito guys is equals to 1 over diametral pitch. So 1 over 2.5. Substitute lang. So DO is equals to diameter natin dito 6.4 inches plus 2 times 1 over 2.5. So inches. So makukuha natin dito is 7.2 inches. Letter A. So next, 38. A solid machine shaft with a shearing stress of 7,000 psi transmits a torque of 10,500 inches to pounds. So a square key is used whose width is equal to the shaft diameter and whose length is 1.5 times the shaft diameter. So dito hinahanap yung length ng key. So ganun ulit, stress is equals to 16t over pi d cube. So kukunin natin dito yung diameter. So 7,000 is equals to 16 times 10,500 divided by pi d cube. So makukuha natin dito yung diameter na 1.97 inch or inches. So since length daw is equals to 1.5 times diameter, so substitute lang. So 1.5 times 1.97 inches. So i-convert mo to into centimeter dahil yun yung nasa choices. So 2.54 centimeter per 1 inch. So makansel sa inch. So magiging sagot dito is 7.5 C. So yun na yung letter A. Next, 39. So a triple-threaded worm has a pitch diameter of 4 inches in an eggshell pitch of 0.75 inches. Determine the lead angle. So dito yung nahanap yung lead angle. So paano natin makukuha? So di ba meron tayong formula dun sa worm gears. So tangent ng lead angle is equals to lead over pi times diameter ng worm. So itong lead natin is n times pitch. So tangent ng lead angle is equals to n natin is 3. So number of threads is 3 times pitch natin na 0.75. So divided by pi times diameter ng worm na 4 inches. So makuha natin lead angle dito is 10.15 degrees. So next, number 40. What is the diameter of the rivet if the length of the snap head rivet is 100 mm and the thickness is 50 mm? So dito meron tayo guys na tinatawag na empirical formula. So empirical formula. So diameter ng rivet is equals to length minus 0.93 times thickness. So ilan yung length natin? 100 minus 0.93 times 50. So lalabas dito is 53.5 mm. So the close answer is letter A. So next, 41. So medyo nakakapagod dahil puro solving talaga tong machine design. Madadrain ka talaga dito. So make sure na wag mawala yung energy natin sa pagsosolve. So 41, a coil spring 2 inches in outside diameter made of 0.25 inches wire is to support a mass of 100 pounds. So find the number of coils if it deflects 1.5 inches under the given load condition. So modulus of rigidity for steel is 11.5 times 10 raised to 6 psi. So para makuha natin number of coils, so meron tayong form and deformation. So eat fried chicken, 3. So nice, good, wow. So ito is number of coils, number of active coils yan. So deformation is 1.5 inches is equals to 8 times 100 pounds times C natin. So alam nyo C natin. So ang C natin is equals to mean diameter over diameter ng wire. So itong mean diameter pwede natin makuha using outside diameter minus diameter ng wire. So ilan yung outside diameter? 2 minus diameter ng wire 0.25 over 0.25. So magiging sagot natin, magiging natin dito is 2 minus 0.25. So 2 minus 0.25 divided by 0.25, 7. So 7 yan. So 7 raised to 3 times number of coils divided by G. So ilan yung G natin dito? 11.5 times 10 raised to 6 times 0.25. So makuha natin yung N dito. So N is equals to 15.7 is equals to 16. So the answer is letter C. So next, 42. So sa 42, So, ganun ulit. So, 42. So, work ng spring is equals to integration ng L1 minus natural length over L2 minus natural length force over stretch length x dx. So, ilan yung L1 natin? So, 13 minus natural length na 12, then 15 minus natural length na 12 over force 10 pounds divide stretch length na 1 inch x dx. So, ilan to? So, kapag in-integrate natin yan, makukuha natin dyan. So, ang lalabas dito na unit is inches to pounds. So, inches to pounds of force. So, lalabas dyan is 40 inches to pounds of force times 1 foot per 12 inches. So, i-convert natin into foot. So, 3.33 foot to pounds of force. So, yan ang sagot. So, C. So, next, 43. Compute the shear strain if the shear stress of the material is given to be 5803 and its shear modulus of elasticity is 65 gigapascal. So, paano to? Number 43. So, sa 43, so, para makuha natin shear stress, so, tau is equals to modulus of rigidity times shear strain. So, shear strain. So, para makuha natin si shear strain, so, ilan yung shear stress natin? 5803 pounds per inches squared is equals to G na 65. So, 65 pounds per inches squared or 65 GPA para to. 65 GPA. So, times 10 raised to 3 para maging megapascal. So, para maging megapascal, so times, convert natin to PSI. So, times 14.7 PSI per 100 or per 0.101325 megapascal. Mga megapascal, may cancel si PSI dyan. Then, times ES or shear strain. So, ilan lalabas dito na shear strain? So, calculate natin. 5803 is equals to 65 times 10 raised to 3 times 14.7 over 0.101325 times alpha x. So, shift solve. Makuha natin is 6.15 times 10 raised to negative 4 radians. So, the answer is letter C. The next tayo, number 44. So, number 44 na. So, number 44, which of the following statement is incorrect? So, ang sagot dito, guys, is letter D, yung pinakamahaba. So, Gracious rule states that the sum of the shortest and longest link cannot be less than. So, dapat, so, hindi siya cannot be less than, no? So, false yung statement na yan. So, 45, what is the diameter of the cylinder of a hydraulic press with pressure of 1000 psi and cylinder wall thickness of 4 inches? Allow a tensile stress of 2500 psi. So, paano itong 45? So, syempre, try muna natin kung thickness over diameter. So, para malaman natin kung thick wall or thin wall. So, thickness natin is 4 inches. Then, yung diameter natin, mag-assume tayo kahit anong choices. So, assume natin is, so, assume 14.29. So, assume 14.29. So, 4 divided by 14.29. So, kung mapapansin nyo, 0.28. So, 0.28. So, 0.28 is or thickness over diameter. So, thickness over diameter is greater than. So, greater than 0.10. So, ibig sabihin, thick wall. So, gagamitin natin dito yung thick wall formula. So, yung Lame's equation. So, thickness is equals to diameter over 2 times square root ng ST plus PI over ST minus PI minus 1. So, substitute natin. So, ilan yung diameter natin dito? So, diameter is equal to, so yung hinanap na, yung thickness natin is 4 inches. Then, diameter over 2 square root ng ST. So, tensile stress is 2.5 plus inside pressure na 1,000 over 2.5 minus 1,000 minus 1. So, diameter natin dito is so 4 is equals to alpha x over 2 square root ng 2.5 plus 1,000 over 2.5 minus 1,000 minus 1. So, shift solve 15.165 inches. So, the answer is letter B. So, next, 46. A shaft B turning 140 RPM has pulley 4, 30 inches in diameter keyed to it. So, pulley 4 is belted to a pulley 2, 20 inches in diameter keyed on a shaft A. So, hinanap natin dito yung speed ng pulley 2. So, paano natin makuha? So, simple formula lang yan. So, N1D1 is equals to N2D2. So, yan ang gagamitin natin dyan. So, N1, 140 times 30 inches is equals to N2 times 20 inches. So, makuha natin N2 dito is 210 RPM. So, yun na agad. Letter D. So, next. 47. So, a gear set having a gear ratio of 3 is to be used at a center distance of 16 inches. So, if the gear teeth has 80 teeth, what must be the circular pitch? So, para makuha natin circular pitch, guys. So, circular pitch. So, di ba, meron tayong formula ng center distance. So, center distance is equals to T1 over T2 over 2 over pi times diametral pitch. Or 2PD pala. 2 times diametral pitch. Umutan ko. So, times 2 times diametral pitch. So, itong diametral pitch is pi over circular pitch. So, ilan yung center distance natin? So, center distance natin 16 inches is equals to T1. So, ang T1 natin is 80 teeth plus yung T2 na gagamitin natin is 80 divided by 3 divided by 2 times pi over circular pitch. So, shift solve makuha circular pitch na 0.94. So, makuha circular pitch dito is 0.94. So, 0.94 inches. So, convert natin sa times 25.4 mm per inch or per 1 inch. Ma-cancel equals 23.9 mm. So, ang sagot dito is letter D. The next, 48. What power is required to lift a load of 22.4 kilonewton by means of a cable wrapped around the diameter of a hoist, the drum being 20 inches in diameter and is making 24 RPM. So, hinanap natin yung power. So, dito, madali, very easy lang to. Power is equals to Tn over factor lang. So, Tn over 9.549 times 10 raised to 6. So, yung torque natin dito, so force times radius lang. So, wala namang friction, no? So, power is equals to, so ilan yung force natin? 22,240 Newton. Times radius na, so 20 divided by, so 20 divided by 2 inches. So, times, so convert natin into mm, so 25.4 mm per 1 inch. Times n. So, ano yung n natin? 24 RPM. Divided by 9.549 times 10 raised to 6. So, makuha natin power dito is, so, solve natin, i-calculate natin. So, 22,240 times 20 divided by 2 times 25.4 times 24 divided by 9.549 times 10 raised to 6. So 14.2 kilowatts. So the answer is letter A. So next, 49. A mechanism starts from rest and accelerates at 50 rads per second squared. After 10 seconds, a bolt flies off. The bolt circles a diameter of 12 inches. So calculate the speed of the bolt when it leaves the mechanism. So paano to? So syempre, para makuha natin speed ng bolt when it leaves the mechanism, so hinahanap yung final speed or final velocity. So Vf is equals to Vo plus At. So ang Vo natin dito is 0. So acceleration times time. So ilan yung acceleration natin? So acceleration 50 rads per second squared. So ibig sabihin pala, ano tayo dito? Yung double. So ang formula natin, hindi pala ganyan. So dapat yan to. Wf is equals to Wo plus alpha times time. So para makuha natin yung speed. Pero hindi pala ano. Dahil lang inaanap pala is speed in miles per hour. So tama lang, Vf is equals to Vo plus At. So Vf is equals to Vo plus At. Then, para makuha natin itong Vo, so kunin muna pala natin si Vo. So Vo is equals to R times W. So ilan yung radius natin? So radius natin 12. So 12 inches yung diameter, no? So 12 divided by 2 para maging radius. So inches. So times, convert natin 1 foot per 12 inches. Then times W. So ang W natin is 50 rads per second. So rads per second squared. So ilan tong Vo natin? So Vo natin is equals to, so 12 divided by 2 times 1 over 12 times 50. So 25 feet per second squared. So substitute natin dito. So ang Vo natin dito is 0. So Vf is equal to 0 plus acceleration na 25. So, acceleration pala to. So, ito guys is acceleration yan. Bakit BO? Then, ito is alpha. So, VF or V or acceleration is equals to R alpha. So, acceleration is equals to R alpha. Acceleration. So, 25 feet per second squared times ang alpha natin na 50 radians per time pala. Nagkakamdalito na ako. So, time is equals to, so time natin is equals to 10 seconds. So, makancel. So, magiging, ano natin dito is 25 times 10 is 250 feet per second. So, i-convert natin into miles per hour. So, times 1 mile per 5,280 feet times 3,600 seconds per hour. So, ilan to? So, 250 times 1 over 5,280 times 3,600. So, ang sagot is 170.45 miles per hour. 70.45 mph. So, next. So, 50, a 6 inches long, 1/2 inch diameter, 304 stainless or 304 stainless steel rod is being reduced in diameter to 0.48 inches by turning on a lathe. The spindle rotates at N 400 RPM and the tool is traveling at an axial speed of 8 inches per minute. So, hinanap dito, calculate the feed in inches per revolution. So, para makuha natin yung feed, simple formula lang yan guys. No? So, feed is equals to speed over N. So, V is equals to 8 inches per minute divided by N na 400 revolutions per minute. So, makancel sa per minute dito. So, maging inches per revolution. So, lalabas dito is 0.02 inches per revolution. So, the answer is letter